going on, everybody? Gokhshtein Unfiltered, episode 12. And I got one of my favorite chipmunks here. Randy. She said I can call her Randy. So Randy, aka Miss Team Crypto. Hi, Randy. How's it going?
I'm chilling, David. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, we already had a conversation 15 minutes before going live here or recording this podcast. It's always a pleasure to go ahead and sit down and speak to you, especially when I'm like lifting weights on your show for no apparent reason, or I should say there is a reason because I'm trying to lift up the market.
Exactly. Thank you for having me, first of all. And we always have to pump iron to pump the markets. That's just the way it works.
But
Period.
the weights have to go up. The weights cannot be at 8 pounds. Like we have to go higher.
Yes. I'm gonna, get a Planet Fitness membership or something. I'm gonna work on this. We're gonna get jacked.
We're gonna do a skit. We'll go into Platinum Fitness. We'll get the outfit, like people. We'll get the makeup artists to come in there and make us look old and stuff, and we'll go and pretend like we can't lift weights and then start lifting. I don't know. I watch a bunch of random YouTube shit now. Yo, what's going on? Like you're flying all over the place. You're like in Boston today, Brazil tomorrow. Like, man, you're famous now. Like I don't even. I'm honored that you came onto my show. This is great. So what's going on? What are you doing in Boston?
I'm currently in Boston for Boston Blockchain Week. Very excited for this. I've never been to Massachusetts before. And with crypto, I never pictured myself being like half the places I've been to so far. So just being able to discover new places is so cool. I think every time I get off the plane, I'm in the Uber, I'm looking around and like everywhere has its own kind of style, its own charm. So it's really cool to like discover new places. But right now I'm in Boston and it's really cool just to travel. And I'm happy to be here.
That is cool to be able to go to all these events and like continue to build your brand and put out a message out there. Is this the year where you've just taken it to I guess sat back and said, I'm gonna take this shit to the next level, kind of like I'm going to attend every conference and people are gonna know who the hell I am, kind of thing? Not that they don't already know you, but I'm just saying, is this the next chapter in your book where I'm going to every conference and you're going to know who I am?
Well, I've been going to conferences for 2 years now almost. So I've been on the conference circuit for quite a while. I'm really grateful to have been doing that. But yeah, this is a good year to go to conferences. Again, like I've been doing this for a while now. So just being able to continue that and continue going to conferences is super cool. And definitely, I hope I have a nice lineup for the rest of 2022 and 2023. Already have a few events that I think I might be going to. So it's pretty cool.
You literally you have your own podcast, which is successful, and you've been killing it. Like it seems like every single day you have a new person on the podcast. And you had CZ on. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much.
And we've learned that CZ used to flip burgers. That
Yeah.
must have been cool to get that out of him.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I really like doing my show is because we're kind of covering like the person, right? Like when you were on the show, we're mostly focusing on you as a person, how you got to this point. Because one of the most interesting things, in my opinion, at least, is that everybody in crypto comes from different places in the world, different walks of life, different, I guess, social statuses, and yet we all end up in the same place for the same reason, a part of one revolution. And that's where I really like learning on my show. Where did everybody come from? What was their thought process like, and what led them to Bitcoin and what they're doing today? That's absolutely changing the world. And CZ is really doing great things, and I'm happy to have actually learned more about him and about his backstory. Heard he was like a good volleyball player too.
I'm so excited to know that he was great at volleyball.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the things that I wanted to learn about CZ was whether or not he can play volleyball.
I
I'm being
mean,
so just right now.
listen, like he was a ref too. He was driving around earning like, I think he said it was like $16 an hour. I was like, go CZ. And then he worked his way up. He found different paths in his life. And now he's CZ Binance with a nice Binance tattoo on his arm. And now he's just meeting all these world leaders and pushing adoption for crypto.
It's crazy. If you look at CZ, I remember when he first hit the scene, he was going to conferences or the limited conferences that we actually had. I think Consensus was the biggest conference that you could have gone to when they started to really come out with these conferences. Now, like you said, seeing him like meeting all these politicians and world leaders, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool for the space, adoption for the space. So shout outs to CZ, and shout outs to you for getting, again, you're getting big time guests onto your show. That says a lot about you, and it says a lot about the messages that you're delivering out there. Which I want to ask you a question. By the way, I still can't wrap my head around your background. How you got like this? You probably have a better background than some of the people that come on my show, and you're in you're in some hotel, and it literally, when you first came on, I thought it was like one of those filters. But shout outs to you for carrying your the pretty mic over here all around with you to go ahead and get onto a podcast. Big topic here is I see that you trademarked your name.
Oh, I'm working on that. Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, I think I need to protect a little bit, but it's still in the process, figuring out a little few kinks.
Do you know that you made it to the top 18 female crypto influencers?
Did I really?
On the Influencer Marketing Hub, you are number 17, which is not bad. It states that you're super popular and you resonate with the kids.
That's awesome. Wow.
So like, hold on. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Like you're killing it.
I'm so happy right now.
But I don't know, like, so like Miss Teen Crypto now, right? Now, when
I know what you're gonna say.
And you knew where I was going, right?
I know.
So when you hit 25, am I still gonna call you Miss Teen Crypto? Because you didn't sound like Miss Teen Crypto when we were in that spaces and somebody tried to go ahead and open their mouth. Miss Teen Crypto, she went away. I heard Miss Adult Crypto come out and start like hammering away. Tell me, like tell me more, Miss Teen Crypto.
David, I can't.
When are you planning? When are you planning to retire the name?
Well, the handle's never going away. Like at Miss Teen Crypto, never going away. I feel like Miss Teen Crypto is my legal name at this point. I go to events all the time. I speak to people on the regular, and they're like, Miss Teen, Miss Teen. They don't even know my name. But when I'm 20, everyone could call me Randy, MTC, whatever they want. But of course, things are going to mature. Things have matured pretty much since the start. Just so you know, the way I did things, talking in front of the camera or like doing content and just kind of like expanding on everything. I think it's just the natural progression of life. I'll be at Miss Teen Crypto until like I'm like 80 and wrinkly.
I think MTC is I can see it. Yes. MTC, like, and you walk in like, what's up? And I want to say something, but I'm just so being polite right now because I feel like if I do say it, like she's gonna be like, I gotta get it out or off this fucking podcast. I just fuck it. I can see you just walk in and say, what's up, bitches? It's me. It's MTC. I'm in the place.
Yo, like what up, Brooklyn swag type. Yeah.
What's the problem with Bitcoin maxis lately and their literally obsession with seeing Ethereum literally collapsing and going to shit? What's the obsession there? From your standpoint?
David, this is a complex one. And, I think a lot of quote unquote maximalists are kind of laying back now and actually congratulating the ETH developers. I'm not sure why a lot of like hardcore people are, targeting ETH at this point. There's one thing that we have to remember, and that there's kind of like tribalism or maximalists within every single niche in crypto, whether that's like NFT maximalists that are like, screw these tokens and coins. Like, I'm not dealing with those. I'm strictly dealing with NFTs, or you have ETH maximalists or Litecoin maximalists, whatever it is, right? but we should all be rooting for each other, because a win for ETH is also a win for Bitcoin and the whole cryptocurrency space. I think just maybe people that are very strong-headed about Bitcoin only, maybe just like wanting to root for Bitcoin because it's proof of work and that's what they believe in, and they want other people to succeed based on what they think is going to be the best or what they think is going to help everybody. And I think, maximalism deep down comes from, a deep, a good place, because they just want other people to succeed, because they're like, okay, this is the way. We think this is the way. So come join us so we could all do good. I really thought about that.
I can see you went real deep, and I was I'm just thinking, have we disappointed you? Has our generation disappointed your generation with the way that we act currently in this industry? Seriously, it's a serious thought. Like, with the way that we act, I don't think, if I'm a billionaire and I have no idea about this space, I don't know if I get in with everything that goes on. I get it. What you just said too is true, that there were maxis that came out and congratulated, Ethereum and Vitalik and that entire foundation, the Ethereum Foundation, on a successful transition to POS. But looking at the infighting within this industry, are you, like, literally that question that I asked, do you look at our generation and you're like, man, I wish they could have done a little bit better?
I think everybody's doing the best they can at this point, especially during a bear market. People right now are really feisty. And I think, it's going to take some time. And I say this all the time. We're still extremely early. Like, the fact that we're fighting over proof of work versus proof of stake, we're too early for that, right? Like, I always say there could be another consensus that comes out tomorrow, or another alt that comes out tomorrow that really blows everything away with this technology. Bitcoin's only 13 years old. She's a teenager. She's figuring out her life. She's developing. She's like, this is really cool. What's everything going on here? I think, we need some time to figure all of this stuff out, to be honest. I don't think anyone else really failed one another. I think we're just trying to file out things. And I think people could be better. I think, it kind of reminds me of politics, right? Where people are fighting over left versus right or in the middle. Like, why can't we all just help one another and just make sure we're all okay and that we're all happy? We all do our own thing. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I want to ask you this, because I know that you'll tell me the God honest truth. If there's anybody that's going to tell me the truth, it's you, Randy.
Of course.
MTC, the picture of Vitalik, real or photoshopped?
Man, I couldn't tell you that.
Or is it? Are you gonna plead the fifth?
I'm gonna. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it was Photoshop, because these plebs are mean on crypto Twitter. They take any reason to take a poop on Vitalik or anyone that they could. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Photoshopped. Poor Vitalik, man. I feel so bad for him.
I think Vitalik secretly leaked those photos because he dropped that book you can get in on it on pre-sale, and then proof of stake is coming out. I'm just saying, I think that was his last mic drop to all the people that dislike him for no reason. I'm just saying.
Interesting.
I just wanted to get your opinion. I know that's a risky question. I had to pull it out. I had to ask somebody, and I knew you were going to give me the truth, but you pleaded the fifth. It's all good. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. My team don't want me to talk about it no more because they're like, man, you're obsessed. But I'm just saying, I mean, Jessica, Jessica?
Yes.
Yeah, she said that it was photoshopped, but she's a anti-ETH. She's a hater. So the girl that you actually like is a hater of Ethereum. So
listen, everyone. The beauty of crypto, David, I say this all the time, is that we get to choose, right? The beauty of crypto is, okay, we get to choose to leave a traditional system to find a freedom system where we could transact whenever we want, however we want, to whomever we want. And we get to choose which coins or tokens we align with and what we choose to stick with. So if Jess wants to do that and feel that certain way about Ethan, go Jess. Also, I have a lot of respect for her. She is tough and she's a great moderator in Twitter spaces. She there was a lot that went on in that Twitter spaces we were in. And I know like things got heated, but like she handled it really well. So respect to Jess. Shout out to Jess. I really like her.
Why did you choose violence that day?
I didn't really choose violence.
Yes, you
know,
did.
I did
You
not.
were very violent. You were very violent, and it was a side of Miss Teen Crypto that I've never seen before. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I was petrified. That song, if you guys know classics, it was a song. But I was petrified. I didn't know where to run.
You know, sometimes like spicy Miss Teen comes out where like something goes very wrong and people are just saying like really crazy things, and I just have to step in and be like, listen, I at least express my opinion where it's allowed, right? Like everyone allowed me to speak, so I spoke and I said my words, and I was just like, listen, like this isn't the way we should be handling this. And yes, I got mean DMs from what I said, but I stick by it too, and for everyone that was there. And I think that, you know, basically the whole point of what I was saying is that we need to stop hating each other and just like work together and stop being mean. Like if you don't like ETH, then that's fine. If you're Bitcoin only, that's fine. Or if you don't like Bitcoin, that's fine. But like don't hate on other people and just call them names based on what they're doing. This is too new to be doing that. That's basically the summary of what I was said for people that weren't there.
MTC. I got another question for you.
Yeah.
I want to cry.
Why?
I want to cry.
Don't do that. I don't have a tissue for you. I virtually pass you a tissue. Maybe I'll do that in the metaverse soon.
Yeah. Speaking of metaverses, let's start with NFTs. Okay.
Okay.
You're supposed to be my friend. Apparently, you're not. Let's air it out here, because no friend would let their friend buy so many crappy ass NFTs. I have a freaking graveyard for a wallet. Like literally right now at this point, I am just ordering tombstones for my NFTs. Okay. Holy, I have given somebody a new fucking idea just now. But
a new
I am
PFP
literally
project.
yeah. Somebody's coming out with tombstones. Here's tombstones, NFTs. Like
Halloween's coming up. It's perfect.
But like, what is happening? I can't catch a break. I can't even catch a break with the Bored Apes. The other side, I spend like $1 billion. What is happening? Tell me, you know NFTs. What is happening? Help me. Help me. Help me.
It's the bear market, right? I think a lot of things are going to bounce back, but now is actually a good time to see what people are doing. When the bull market, you have to admit, when you were, you know, buying all those NFTs while the bull market was hot, all these NFT projects had some sort of roadmap. They had some sort of, you know, big plan for what they were doing. And then kind of as, you know, the bear market came upon us here, we saw them start to dwindle. Not only the community starting to dwindle a little bit because they were discouraged, but also, you know, the people running the project started to kind of fade out a little bit, not fulfill their roadmap. So actually, now's a good time to see who's really building, who's really doing stuff. And I'm sorry for, you know, your portfolio, David, but at the same time, you had to know the risk associated with purchasing these NFTs. If you're trying to do this as like, you know, a flip play, you got to be willing to lose your beans, you know, high risk, high reward here. But that, you know, I'm waiting to.
I lost more than my beans. I lost more than my beans.
Did you lose your dignity a little bit?
Yeah, more than my dignity. But yeah, I get the whole. I'm just praying I get like 10 cents to the dollar on my NFTs. Like I really am praying. Like I'm not even close to 10 cents to the dollar. I'm like at -2.
I mean,
-$2.
When the bull market was hot and NFTs were flying off the shelves, I did keep this all in mind. Like, you know, what if all of this does not really work out? Am I still happy with what I bought? Am I okay with my collection? Do I genuinely like the collection and I'm not trying to flip it? You know, that's what I was keeping in mind, you know, just saying like, okay, I like this piece of art. If it goes to, you know, zero, God forbid, I'm okay with that because I like the piece of art. I want to support this person. And I think that's also a message that really got lost during the bull market and all this NFT craze, is that a lot of it was about supporting artists, about supporting people trying to jumpstart their lives with cryptocurrency and with play to earn. And I think that revolution, just like with Bitcoin, people are focusing on the price instead of the revolution. That's another thing that got lost. Like we shouldn't have been trying to flip all these NFT projects. It should have been more about supporting the artists and what their mission was in those roadmaps.
The 10,000 PFPs are done, right? next bull run comes around, are we done with the next? Are we done with the PFPs, the 10,000 PFPs that come from Fiverr? And where are we finally going to focus on the artists, like these photographic NFTs and these artists that take the time out to really create dope shit? Are we going to focus on them? Are we going to give them a platform? Or are we going to go back and be suckers again and buy these alligators with hats on and hope that it becomes the next Bored Ape? Which way are we going? What do you feel about that?
That's like saying in the next bull run that people are gonna stick with only Bitcoin instead of trying to buy those 100x alts. You know what I mean? I think, you're obviously going to have people in every situation where maybe like you and me will be like, okay, I'm gonna just buy my Bitcoin, kind of stay secure with that. But then you'll have the degens that are like, all right, I'm gonna jump into this alt that hopefully goes 200x. That's gonna be the same thing with the NFT market. But I do think in the next bull run, and I think even now, because there's a lot of lull with like people trying to pump out all these projects, that a lot of artists are actually getting support now and are actually gaining that spotlight and joining Twitter spaces and putting out their artwork. I think especially in the next bull run that more artists will be highlighted. At least I hope so, right? Like I've been putting out NFTs for what, 2 years now, since November 2020. And, I'm just putting out art that my community likes. Like it doesn't always have to be about utility this and roadmap that. Like, things could be more simple. It could be an artist just trying to display their work. Traditionally you had to be approved by a physical gallery to display your art. And now people are actually getting the opportunity to display their art on a global stage with something like OpenSea or, Wax Blockchain, whatever, Solana, whatever they choose. But I do think that, artists will be highlighted more now. They are being highlighted more now and in the bull run. 10K PFP projects, I don't think they're completely going away. I know people that are still doing that. And I think if, you come up with a cool utility and it's a part of something else, then yeah, why not? I'm not really against it. People love the PFPs. People have pride in their PFPs, which is another whole aspect of this whole movement with profile pictures and NFTs. I think it helps adoption a lot.
So does it have to, so if you do come out with a 10,000 PFP, does it have to have a utility, or can you just come out with it and say, yo, this is what I just created art. That's all it is. This is art, period. There's no utility to it. Like done. Like if I choose to go ahead and build an ecosystem, great. But this is just art. Is that okay? Is that just okay to go ahead and put out?
I think it's fine. And I think people might like be upset with me over it, but why not? Like, you know what I mean? If it's someone just putting out work and someone likes the work, then why wouldn't they buy one? You know what I mean? If like people could literally, I saw even in the bull run, the last bull run, people were putting in their OpenSea descriptions, this is art, like it or leave it, no roadmap. And people were still buying it. So like, who's to say that it's not valuable just because it doesn't have utility? If you have utility, that's great. Go for it. Run for the hills, bro. Like I'll follow you. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if you don't have utility and I still like your art, then that's no harm in doing it. That's like saying you won't, go into the art gallery and buy a piece of art because it doesn't like, have a free game attached to it or something like that. Like you appreciate the work and the person that's producing the work. I think it's okay either way.
You think it's okay?
Yeah.
Miss Teen Crypto says it's okay, so it's okay. That's it. Our conversation over with. And trust me, I would say something, but like she's a bad bleep. Like again, I'm basing our conversation now based on the spaces we were in. I don't know who she is anymore. I don't know who she is anymore. I know that I'm scared because what I heard in that spaces that day, it was recorded, so you guys can go check it out. I've never heard Miss Teen Crypto, or I should say Miss Badass Teen Crypto, ever blow a gasket like that. Without cursing too. She did like the Will Smith version, because Will Smith never curses, right? Like she did the Will Smith version of ripping somebody apart. It was amazing. You guys check the recording. I
did my best.
Listen, I love Miss Teen Crypto for one reason, and why I wanted to get on my show. NFT NYC. I go out to this event to speak. Come out there. We talk. She said, I'm gonna be at your event. I'm gonna be at your speaking event. I'm like, okay, cool. In my head, I don't ever expect anything. You know why? Because if you don't ever have any expectations, you'll never be disappointed. Period.
Yeah.
I go out there. Obviously, I have Logan Paul obviously opening up for me. You saw that
Yeah, I
Logan
did.
Logan Paul opened up for me. Like,
Of course,
as
yes.
come on. So after Logan Paul, gets out, I, like an idiot. Did you see me walk out there with the Target bag?
Yes, you did. And I loved the Target bag. I deeply admired that. And you were like, if you guys think, David looks like, kind of badass sitting right there, you have to see him on stage. I took pictures. Pictures were posted. Yeah, like his legs crossed. He was like sitting there with his sunglasses all swagged out. And he was like, yeah, like I own that. And he dropped alpha. And he was very supportive of the other person on stage, which, David's a team player.
Can I say thank you? By the way, thank you about the glasses, because I was going to leave them on, but I get a text message from staff and they're like, "You look like a douchebag. Why don't you remove the glasses?" And I'm like, really? Like, all celebrities walk on stage with glasses on. They walk the red carpet with glasses on. I'm here. I got this image that I want to put out there. Oh, take off your glasses. Okay. I take off my glasses. Now the freaking light is in my eye, blinding me. I don't even know if there's somebody sitting next to me. I don't even know if there's somebody. I don't even know who the person was sitting next to me. I was blind. And then on my right side, the host, he looked like Triple H's brother. If anybody who knows who Triple H is, this guy looked like Triple H.
That's
and
hilarious.
I'm looking at him. I'm blinded. I'm blinded from all sides. I look into the middle. Who's sitting there? Who's sitting there? It's Miss Teen Crypto. She's sitting there and she's giving me the thumbs up. She got the camera. She got everything. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. I'm like, all right. She came through. She all the way from BK to here came through. I was like, you know what? If I already had her back, now whatever she needs, because that to me personally shows me true support, especially in this space where you don't know who's who, to see somebody as yourself come out there. And I really appreciate that. I wanted to say this on Unfiltered, that you came out there. I said this to you earlier, but I'll say it on air in front of everybody, that I really appreciated that, because that shows that somebody isn't just all talk, no action. And to see that, that will, from my side, it goes right into the memory bank, and I will always be there for whoever comes out there to support me. So big shout out to you. Don't need to do that. I know you were running around all over the place. You had your own speaking engagement, and you continue to kill it.
Thank you.
To move, I want to move into the NFT. Still remain in the Web3 space here. What do you think about the metaverse? Is it overblown? Like, is it overblown? Because like we have now, I feel like everybody's trying to come out with one. Is it? I'm trying to be nice here. It's unfiltered. You know what
Be
it is?
unfiltered.
I'm trying here.
Don't be a Brita. Unfiltered.
How many of these shits are going to actually survive?
Like the metaverses? Because
yeah,
you broke
like
up a little bit. Okay.
These metaverses, like how many of them are going to actually survive? Like, is there too much? Like, seriously, MTC, is there too much of this shit?
Maybe I'm thinking about this now. Maybe there's not enough. The reason why I say that is because within every little metaverse, there's always an issue that, there's always something big that they're missing, right? And I think that we still need more development. So I wouldn't discourage new metaverses from being built, because again, you really don't know what's going to work and you don't know what's going to click with the mainstream. We need to experiment more. I think a lot of them are just trying to create, maybe try to grab some cash a little bit, but there's a lot of like really good genuine projects, like Decentraland has been working for so long, Sandbox has been working for so long, but I do encourage more development. We're too early to say there's too many metaverses. There should be more, because we need experimentation, we need more diversity, and then maybe they will become interoperable at some point, then it's even more fun.
Do you think that having all these metaverses, that all these nerds are going to sit there and get to the point where we already had these restrictions, right? So now you have the metaverse where everybody's going to go onto it. What happens when all these nerds get fat and they decide, I'm not leaving the house because this is my new reality? Could there be like a, for me, I feel like this, And I know it's like it's funny because I'm saying like people can get fat and overweight and stuff like that, but it's true. Like people sitting literally 17 hours in a metaverse, running around and trying to chat with somebody or kick it with somebody in the metaverse, which is going to be really weird. Um, do you think these developers have to keep that in mind? Like, hey, at some point after 5 hours, we really want to get this person off so they can rest and then maybe come back into the metaverse. Because I feel like it could be dangerous. Nobody talks about that shit either.
I think it's like, you know, a pros and cons type thing. Like even with the internet, people are like, people spend too much time on the screen. And also people could be working in the metaverse. Like, you know, we work online all day, and imagine someone telling us after 5 hours we can't work anymore. What does that mean? This is a 24/7 space. You're in spaces like most of your life. You barely even sleep. So it's like, you know, if someone told you, oh, you can't do more than 6 hours of Twitter spaces because you're on your phone too much, you're doing too much jabber jabber talk, then you're going to be like, no, that's not fair. So I think, you know, it has to be some personal responsibility. I was actually listening. I didn't finish the whole episode, but I heard a really good chunk of Joe Rogan's podcast with Mark Zuckerberg. And Mark Zuckerberg kind of took it as like, you know, we all have our personal responsibilities. And, you know, because Joe Rogan was like, what about your social media intake? Do you worry that people are going to stay more online than they would in person? And honestly, take Mark Zuckerberg's kind of advice from there and just be like, you know, go outside, touch grass. He surfs, he does jujitsu, martial arts, MMA, whatever. And take that personal responsibility and have that self-discipline and go outside. You know, there's pros and cons to everything. I think it's up to you to keep yourself in check. Also with the metaverse, there could be a give and take there where already on VR, you have, you know, apps that do fitness with you that, you know, work out with you. So maybe you could be working out and getting fit in the metaverse and you could avoid this, you know, issue of just being unhealthy. So there's a give and take. Like Wii Sports. Remember Wii Sports? You could meditate on the board. They were mental health helping you meditate and clear your head on Wii Sports.
You don't have to comment on this, but I've had a big problem with the new billboards in New York City going up and showing that it's kind of like okay to be extremely overweight. And like for me, like I'm not saying you can't be comfortable in your body, but there is a point where it's like I don't think that should be okay. I think people should take care of their health, but I don't need you to comment on unless you want to comment on it. You don't have to, but my thing is I want to see people actually move their bodies. 2 years restrictions, you're not able to go anywhere, not even to the gym. I mean, I'd like to see, obviously, I'd like to see our space succeed. I know that you make a valid point that we sit all day, we're doing content creation, we're on spaces, we're talking, we're educating, we're doing all this stuff. You're flying to Boston, Brazil, Argentina. I don't know where you're at, right? I think you're lying that you're in Boston because that does not look like Boston. If anybody's from Boston, that does not look like anything out of Boston. That looks like you're in like in I don't know, Paraguay or I'm gonna say Portugal. That is not Boston. That is definitely not Boston.
I wish it was Portugal. I would go to Bam Bam Beach and visit Didi Taihutu from the Bitcoin family. He has a whole bar over there. Okay. With you know, accepting Bitcoin. He's spreading adoption along the beach over there. Shout out to Didi Taihutu. Much love, my friend.
What do you think about regulation? What do you are we you know, I asked this to a few people that come on the show. It's just like I'm all about free market because I feel like this is, you know, it was built to be a free market. And now you have people that are actually rooting for regulation. Now, I know regulation is going to come in no matter what it's coming. Understandable. But where do you stand on it? MTC, or I should fix that up, not MTC, because you were type of angry in that space. But we'll get to that. But where do you stand on regulation? Where do you stand? Yay or nay? Or you could say I'm confused.
You know, I'm more, I guess, like I'm confused, but more towards the nay side of everything because, you know, I understand. You know, the gov needs a piece of the pie. You know what I mean? You know, they gotta have their they gotta have their spoonful of pasta. But I do think, you know, I think Bitcoin and cryptocurrency blockchain is inevitable. And how far can you really regulate it when it's just code? Like, you know what I mean? You can't stop code. You could blacklist addresses and whatever, but you can't stop it. So I think, there's going to be regulation, but to a point. Like, how much can you really control a space that you could literally just build things on and just freely do things? There's pros and cons with this, as we know, but I'm there's only so much they can do. And I think after 10 years time, we won't have to deal with a lot of the stress that we're dealing with now, because I think, the government and maybe the whole world is going to be more, I guess, forced to be crypto forward. We have, El Salvador using Bitcoin as legal tender. You have other, countries where the government is kind of fully endorsing cryptocurrency and is kind of pushing it forward. And, there's only a matter of time where, Bitcoin is inevitable. Like, crypto is inevitable. It's just going to take over. And then there's really nothing you could do about it except adapt it to the new environment, just like we did with the internet. People on TV, a lot of the commercials and skits I see of the internet when it first started sounds a lot like Bitcoin now and a few years ago. So I think, Bitcoin's inevitable. It's going to happen whether people like it or not. And you're just going to have to adjust to the climate.
When people say Bitcoin will never work, what is your response to them? I had that happen to me by a former employee who wanted to run his mouth about economics, and I just literally pulled his pants down and kicked him. Where do you stand on that when people say that to you?
I would say Bitcoin is the only thing that works. Like, your debit card could stop working at any point. I know a lot of people get spicy about Andrew Tate, but one of the things he brought up in his interviews is that, when things went south, things went pop, 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 bam, 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 bam. All his apps popping off. You're banned from this, you're banned from that. No one can ban Bitcoin. No one could ban your wallet. No one could stop you from doing things. That's what we need. Money that's yours, that you're in control of. So in my opinion, Bitcoin is the only thing that works. And whether people want to admit that or not, that's fine. I've had family that still doesn't really want to admit it. But, at the end of the day, you have to acknowledge the facts. And that is, everyone's seen it. You don't have the accessibility to your money that you did before. And to think that that could get better is, I think, a little bit silly, considering other countries, we're seeing people get their bank accounts shut down. We're seeing, other countries where the banks are just completely shut down and people are losing their noodles because they can't get cash and their money was in the bank because it was set in their bank account on their phone that a certain balance was there. You need to trust yourself. And that's all.
I love MTC. You can't. She is always I'm a positive cat. I personally believe I'm a positive cat, but you are positive. There is nothing, and I mean no question I can throw at you that you will go ahead and say, well, and be pessimistic about. I love that about you, that you are positive, and I am positive that the woman in the back of you is literally not from Boston nor anywhere from the United States of America. She is definitely 100% from Portugal or from Argentina. Like, that bag, her bag literally did not say anything about Boston. So like, I see you, Miss Ting Crypto. I see it. You're not in Boston right now. There's some little bullshit that you're playing with me, but it's fine. It's okay. All right, let's pretend that
I wouldn't lie to you. We already covered this, David. I'm a truthful person. I'm transparent like the Bitcoin blockchain.
Ooh.
Ooh. Spice.
Damn. That's like, what's happened to you?
I don't know. I think I think you're rubbing off on me, just your audacity. Like, I pop, let's speak about you for a minute, Dave. Like, I pop in your Twitter spaces and you're always like, yeah, this, that, this and that. Why are people doing this? This needs to stop. We need to think about this. And then I'm like sitting there, like I say to my dad, I'm like, yeah, David's going off right now. Like, this is great. Like, people need to hear this. So yeah, like you're a cool kid too.
Cool kid. You heard that? I want you guys to understand. I'm cool with Gen Z. Like, they feel me, I feel them.
Yes.
No, I was doing research on you before you came on. Like, I didn't even need to, but I was like, yo, let me do some research. Let me ask her. Like, she's all over the place. Yeah, I did my own research before investing, right? So like,
it's amazing.
Business Insider, South America, like freaking influencer marketing hub, like top 18 female crypt, like holy crap. And you haven't even changed. You haven't changed one bit, honestly. You haven't changed one bit with everything that you've done in this space. You're still, you're still, you're still Miss Teen Crypto. And I've said, you know what? Somebody should mark how many times I've said MTC or Miss Teen Crypto, and I will give you like one Satoshi for every time I've said it. Okay, not
That's
one
so
Bitcoin,
funny.
it's one Satoshi because it's probably like, oh, that it'll probably come out to like 45.
It's the
And
bear market out here. We can't
yeah,
do
yeah.
Bitcoins.
Um, Speaking of Andrew Tate, because you mentioned him, how do you feel about him? I've already let everybody know how I feel about him. How do you feel about him? Seriously.
Spicy point, but I think a lot of the things he brought up, in terms of like the world and how a lot of people are thinking and like, people's headspace, I could see where he's talking about. A lot of people are getting lost in like distractions instead of focusing on what's in front of them and what's really going on. On the other hand, I think he could be very strong-headed with a lot of the things he says that are very controversial. I'm going to plead the fifth on the rest, but I think he does bring up a few good points. And what happened to him, I think is is a little sad. But it
Yeah.
just shows you like, the power at will, and that we all have to just be conscious of that. And yeah.
I don't like the fact that he was deplatformed because I
Yeah.
feel that whether I agree or disagree with him, I should be able to speak to him if I have the opportunity to
Yeah.
go one on one and have a debate and agree to disagree like mature adults and be on our way. Whether we speak again or whatnot, join the same spaces or communities, it doesn't matter. That ability to speak to the other side that you might not agree with, that's super necessary for us to be able
Yes.
to do. You can't take away freedom of speech. Like, yeah, like does he say things that might not fit with my own narrative or my beliefs? Yes, like totally. When it comes to women, I grew up around a lot of women. I don't respect some of the stuff that he says about women. I mean, you can plead the fifth. I'll say, like, me personally, I don't like it. Like, I don't see where he's going with that. Because he'll say something good and then he'll touch on like he'll go left with it. So it's he'll make some points about guys needing to get off their asses and exercise and do better for themselves, but then he'll go into another direction with it when he makes a valid point. But you can't get away from him. What he did was he totally hacked the social media system. Like he hacked it
Yeah.
completely. When I try to look for Jordan Peterson, David Goggins to go ahead and like look at their inspirational stuff, Goggins running through the rain and talking about, you got to do this. You can't stop. I woke up this morning, didn't want to get up. Like I like that stuff. And then Tate just comes on, and he's just like, literally every single clip is Tate, 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 Tate.
Yeah, that was a social media takeover. It was like one I haven't seen before. And it was just like something that, I think was just let loose. You know what I mean? It was something that was interesting to see as like a social media type of phenomenon go on. But again, it was just something that was really hectic. And yeah, it was all over everybody's phone and things like that. But now it's kind of faded a lot since, he had to go bye-bye on social media.
When what do you in 10 years, what is MTC going to accomplish in this space?
Wow, that's a big question. If anything, I want it to be me being responsible or part of bringing Gen Z, a whole generation, into cryptocurrency. All in all, that was my goal coming into crypto, was to spread crypto and NFT adoption to Gen Z and educate the masses on cryptocurrency. And in 10 years, I hope that's done and then some. I'm kind of relentless, David. I'm on a relentless journey, and it wasn't, one I necessarily planned on. But once it started, I was like, I can't let go of this. Bitcoin cryptocurrency is my passion. And, whether that's hitting the streets, talking to strangers, or doing, educational content, gaming live streams, the Miss Teen Crypto Show, which you've been on twice already. Very cool, by the way. You're awesome. Really cool shows. And, whether no matter what that is, no matter what I do, it's always going to be for the good of the entire world and the crypto community. Never will I ever do something negative or something to spite somebody else, because that's not me. I mean, I know I'm getting a little deep here and a little mushy, but I do think, hopefully in 10 years' time, Gen Z's in crypto, and hopefully I attributed some of that.
That's deep. I need a Kleenex, man. I don't know where like
Some cottonelle.
That was deep. You know, everybody wants to leave some sort of legacy, right? You know, I'm sure that this is your career. I want to ask you also, like you've been grinding it out on the street, like literally going to Times Square constantly, talking to whether it's Times Square or wherever in New York, wherever you are, actually flying around, getting to the streets. What's up? What's going on? You know anything about Bitcoin? You know anything about cryptocurrency? Like, you've been doing that. Are you going to get away from that? Are you going to like, because like now, let's call it for what it is. You're a big shot now. Because I listen, by the way, guys, I tried to get her on the show. She was like, yo, I gotta go ahead and talk to my assistants. Like, I was like, okay, this is weird. Like 2 days trying to, and then she was like, okay, fine, I can do it. I have some spare time in this Portugal hotel lobby here.
Portugal.
Definitely not definitely not fucking Boston. But are you done with that? Like, are you slowly getting away from that and like, you know what? I'm gonna focus on just going to every conference that I can attend and be a speaker at and get the message out there that, you know, Bitcoin is super necessary for your generation. Now forget about my generation, because your generation is the one that's going to take it to the next level.
I think I don't know if I'll ever stop doing on the street interviews. You know, as my schedule gets busier, it's harder for me to go out, but I don't think that's something I want to stop doing, because the reason why I started to do those is because I wanted to on the ground spread adoption. Because when I first started doing these interviews, like November 2020, people looked at me like I had 10 heads talking about Bitcoin, and then they got educated, right? Because I always hand them cards like I have on me. I'll actually show you one. The current one. I have like 4 or 5.
I never got it. By the way, I never got a card.
What?
I never got a card.
I didn't give
never
you one?
got a card.
Oh my god,
NFT
I'm the worst
NYC,
person ever.
We need an NFT NYC. Don't even get a card. She just left.
I gave you my love.
Even though she came there. Anyway, sure.
This is my card that I hand out to people on the street. These are all educational, so you guys could scan them too. I don't know if it's focusing really well. In the back is like my socials and my website. But you know, I've been handing out these cards since November 2020, and that's why I wanted to do on the street interviews, to see where, one, to spread adoption on the ground, like do it myself, and two, being able to see where the public is at. When you're in this space every day, you're on Twitter Spaces every day, you're just consumed in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, you know about it already. It's hard to get a feel of what other people are thinking. Like, you know, being in the space, you're like, why isn't Bitcoin adopted yet? What's so hard for people to understand? But then you go and hit the streets and talk to all these people of different age groups, from kids my age, younger, to in their 50 plus, and you see, wow, we're still really early, and it humbles you a little bit, but also makes you really bullish. Like, we have so far to go, and we've already done this much.
I've been turning down mainstream media requests to go on and talk about stuff.
I think that's pretty spicy of you, David, to say the least. But you're a baller, you know, you're famous.
No, but I want to get some advice from you, because like you're all over the street like 50 Cent, and that goes way back. You guys won't even know what I'm talking about unless obviously you're an 80s baby. But like literally, like I feel like we are a better representation of this industry than mainstream media is. And the only reason why I say that, MTC, is because when you go on to mainstream media, there's always this narrative, and I feel the narrative comes from the 1%, like the Black Rocks, the Citadels, the Fidelities, that a lot of them own these mainstream media outlets that we are invited onto. I feel like I don't want to go on there because we can tell the story better. Where do you stand on that? And I'm going to leave Charles Payne out of this, because he is the only person that seems to consistently be there for the retail buyer. But besides him, and I know you might throw in somebody else and whatnot, but besides him, I haven't really seen that. I really haven't seen mainstream media say, you know what, I really want to educate you, and I'm going to bring on a lot of people that know what the hell they're talking about, and not be repetitive with the message.
Yeah, I think I also shout out to Liz Clayman too. I was on her podcast on Fox News Radio. That's on my website, mistingcrypto.com/about. But I think
It's
she's
also
really
on Google. It's also on Google
oh
because I
yeah, it's
like I
also on
said,
Google.
excuse me, DYOR.
DYOR. Yeah.
I fucked up there.
You went to go DIY. But I think the mainstream, that's a spicy one as well, because I think there's only so far they could take it, I guess, without scaring people. I think if they go full crypto right now and the I guess narrative kind of changes where they're just pushing crypto and they're like, yes, this is the future. I think it's gonna freak a lot of people out. It's gonna just like be like, okay, guys, like what is going on? Is the stock market still okay? Should I not be investing in the stock market anymore? And I don't think like Wall Street's ready for that. And I don't know if maybe the general public is ready for that. But again, like I think they're covering Bitcoin a lot more. I mean, even CNBC, who really wouldn't talk about Bitcoin at all now, has Crypto Night in America, which is a whole special. So, like I said, Bitcoin is inevitable, and whether the mainstream or the gov or whoever it is doesn't want it, it's gonna happen, whether they like it or not. So yeah, I think it's still gonna happen. I think more mainstream is gonna reach out to you. I don't care about going on mainstream media. I like it just because like you said, we do get to we tell our story better, I guess, in some ways. And I think that being able to take that opportunity and go tell our story and how we feel to the public, to the people that aren't in yet, and maybe draw them in, I think is very important. So if you don't go on, that's cool, but I don't see maybe a con to it, just because you're able to spread adoption and just try to bring those people in and say your piece. If they're allowing you to say your piece, then say it.
I feel it's too fast. I feel like you don't have time to say your piece. It has to be like at least 10 to 15 minutes in order for you to literally break down what this space is all about. Because 5, 10, 6 minutes is not enough time to break down what this space is really all about. The freedom that is given and the opportunities that is given to people like yourself, myself, a ton of other people that are doing, you know, the right things with the opportunity and the platforms that have been presented to us. So that's why I say like I really feel like we can go ahead and articulate the space way better than mainstream media. That every single time I
We
look at an
could. That's why
article,
they invite us on, though,
yeah, but they don't
because
give
they
us the
know we could
time.
do.
But they
They
don't give us the time.
Yeah, it's a give and take, but at least like it's starting. You think in the next bull market they're not going to have a bunch more people from the space on all these shows, and I think even during the next bear market, it's not even going to matter because people are still going to be on there anyway. I think in this bear market they're trying to like suck the life out of crypto, but again, like it's not working.
You see all the news, right? All the
Yeah,
news is
dude.
like crypto's done, it's
Blah blah
doomed, but
blah,
right?
whatever, bro. Been there, done that. Especially the people that understand the fundamentals of Bitcoin and have been here for a while. We understand 80+% dips in Bitcoin is normal. Bitcoin's been dead more times than we can count, bros. I make a video about this on YouTube and all my other socials, that this is history. And I think if you're new to the space, maybe you don't get that, but again, do like David, DYOR, do your own research and look at the yearly charts. When in doubt, zoom out on the yearly charts and you'll be like, okay, this is nothing I have to worry about. Bitcoin is a long-term play. If you're worried about like the minute candles, the week candles, the monthly candles, then man, I am sorry. I'm sorry. You must be stressed. But if you're just like a regular retail investor or even like, a bigger fish, buy your Bitcoin and put it aside, not financial advice. Hodl, my friend. Just put in cold storage.
Top 10 people you've met during your time in this space.
Whoa. I don't know. I've met too many people. I mean,
Doesn't matter.
definitely
You gotta
you're
no,
top.
no,
One
no.
of the top.
I'm top one. Like
Of
there's
course.
let's push that to the side. Top 10 people that you've met in this, and you gotta say it. There's no pleading the fifths here. Top 10, and I know you've met thousands, but top 10 people that you've met in this space. And order
Um,
counts, because if you say somebody was number one, feelings will be hurt.
I'm
And
not I'm not I'm not
unfiltered is the
numbering
show to do
anyone.
that.
I'm not numbering anyone. I can't. I have like a bunch of people that are popping in my head. There's too many to count. I mean, like, Crypto Wendio, Crypto Stash, Scott Melker, um, Leia Halpern, Ben Armstrong is really cool in person. Who else? Who else? Who else? We have I mean Ken Bozak is a character. We have who else? Who else? Who else? I've met so many people. J Chains is really cool in person. Like I really vibed with J Chains. Um, three more, three more, three more. There's too many people. Um, damn, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings because like there's so many people popping in my head. I need a minute. I need a minute. I need a minute.
Feelings will be hurt.
Feelings are gonna get hurt. People are gonna be like, Miss Teen, like, why didn't you say anything about me? Um, I mean, Charlie Lee, definitely one of them. Um, people from Wax Blockchain, like William Quigley, the whole Wax Blockchain team is really cool. Um, I mentioned Charlie Lee already. Bobby Lee, his brother, I met.
You have one more. That's it. That was Bobby Lee. You going with Bobby Lee for the last one?
He's one of them. He's one of the cool kids. Who else? Who else? Who else?
That
I
was
know I
10.
met so many people.
That was 10. So I'm gonna say this right now. All you sons of bitches that got left off, remember.
No,
Remember.
no, because everyone I've met at a conference is honestly so beautiful.
She left me off.
What do you mean? I said you already, and you said besides that, it doesn't count.
No, besides, no, I'm
the whole G Media team is
obviously
very nice in person too. Very much shout out to the G Media team. I vibed. I saw the G Media team probably more than anybody at NFT NYC. Like I was just like I was vibing with them. They were sending me pictures. We were sending videos to David trolling him because I went to this after party one night for I think it was Kitty Inu, and I saw the whole G Media team. It was the morning that David spoke. I spoke that day as well, and I was looking around and I was like, "Where's David?" And they were like, oh, he went home. He's being so lame. And I was like, he is lame. So then I started talking to Michelle, and then she starts recording what I'm saying. And then she's like, can I send this to him? I was like, I didn't know you recorded that, but send it over. Like, it's nothing I wouldn't say to him anyway.
Wow. Wow.
But I was basically calling him lame, and I was like, yeah, he left. He should have hung out with us. Like, this is messed up.
Disrespectful. This is disrespect. By the way,
because I know you're I thought I was gonna hang out with you.
Listen, same, but like again, like I said, by the way, anybody who wants to get MTC on her show, on your show, like it's gonna be really hard because like there's like 3 gatekeepers and stuff, like protecting her at all costs and stuff. Feel like it is like an episode of like the Game of Thrones or the new thing that I watch. What is it?
Game of Dragons?
No, the House of Dragons.
Oh yeah, I thought it was Game of Dragons, House of Dragons. It's actually pretty spicy. I think their season ended though on Sunday.
No, it's just the beginning.
What? I thought I read something that said final episode.
No, you gotta watch. No, final episode for the. Okay, I'm not gonna blow it up for the people. MTC, see what she's trying to do. I see what you're trying to do. I'm no, absolutely not. I know this is unfiltered, but nope, absolutely not. Not going there.
We can't spoil.
By the way, the guy who walked by, do you guys see the people walking by? There's no way they're from Boston.
This is Boston, I swear.
This is not Boston. Like, this is crazy. This is not Boston. Yo, she is at like some super event by Portugal, flying out to Dubai next. Like, I'm telling you, like, watch her Twitter account. Miss Teen Crypto. I gotta say, it is always like a fucking pleasure to speak to you, and definitely I will never forget you coming to that speaking event. Like I'm gonna
David,
repeat that
of course.
But there's a thing that, like, for me personally, like that means a lot, because when people say shit and don't do shit, all words, no action kind of thing, and you sprung in. So that was great to see you there. And there was there were a few other people that it was weird. I told you this before I went to New York, NYC, NFT NYC. I said that I don't know how you guys do this, and I did it. I went out there, and then you have a bunch of people that like mob you and you don't even know them.
Yeah.
And it was really a weird feeling. Like I'm super to myself. So when people like start, like, if I don't know you and people like started hugging me, monkeypox is going around and all that stuff, I'm like, I don't know what I should do. But I started hugging everybody anyway. So I was like, okay, whatever, it is what it is, kind of thing. Resident Evil, I started thinking. But Yeah, it was a really cool vibe. It was a really cool experience. And I appreciate you. And like I watch from the sidelines. I still watch no matter what. She knows what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say nothing, but no matter what, I stand on the sidelines and I cheer you on because I do want to see you totally destroy this industry and represent for not only shout outs to Brooklyn, but also exactly. I do want to see you be one of the top women, and I hate bringing gender into this, but I do want to see you be one of the top women within this space. So congratulations on all
Thank
your
you.
freaking hard work. You deserve it. You, your bodyguards, your assistants. Now, like you got your whole crew. You all deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and bringing me on. I know this is quite the spicy show. You always have the zesty people on here, and I appreciate you bringing me and always supporting me too. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but me and David, we've been like Twitter friends for like pretty much since I started. And, just having my back and, things that, get spicy. Sometimes people come at me and David's always there for me. And then someone came after David in Twitter spaces last week and I was like, no, I can't do that. I gotta like get my bro. And, no, like David's been supporting me for a long time. So I appreciate the positive energy. And there's really not a lot of people that are willing to like openly support people the way that David does. So yeah, thank you so much. Like I really appreciate you having me. And like, we're gonna keep going on this journey together. Me and you, and
Sure.
then, me, you, and the whole community. We're all on like one amazing journey. We're a part of like a revolution that's bigger than us, that's bigger than the price of Bitcoin today. So just like keep that in mind, guys. Like, please.
For sure. And I can't wait to do an in-person interview with you and sit down and like dive deeper into all this stuff. The studio's coming together. It looks
Let's
awesome and
go.
we're going to do it and it's going to be fun. And like I said earlier to you, I needed to get you onto the show. I didn't care. I made the slot. I don't even do it on Tuesdays, but again, MTC right here. I got you, homie. Brooklyn, we got to stick together. Brooklyn, New Yorkers, we got to stick together. And I hope you kill it in Boston. She is really in Boston. I was just busting her chops, but she's in Boston. She flew out. She didn't even text me. She sent me a video like, yo, I ain't gonna text you stuff. I'm just gonna tell you. And then, so like, again, like, I hope you do kill it in Boston and whatever else you're doing this year. I'm cheering on. I'm cheering you on, and I hope you accomplish a lot of shit. Let's go. Let's send the market up, man. I'm tired of the salt, man. We have enough salt prepared for the winter. I'm tired of the salt. Enough.
Yeah, I'm tired too. We gotta pump iron to pump markets.
Let's go. We go pump that iron today.
Woo.
I gotta go work out too. But shout out to you, Miss Teen Crypto. Thank you very much for coming on. This has been, well, no, I'm not gonna say that, but this has been Gokhshtein Unfiltered. I say that. I said it fucking anyway. This has been Gokhshtein Unfiltered. Nothing's ever really edited on here. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Episode 12. See you next time, and I hope you enjoy this show. Peace.